Hello and welcome back to part 2 of our series, Health, Wellness, and Fitness. I'm your host, Jimmy Mitchell. So in the first video, I just want to do a quick recap of what we covered. We basically said, stay away from fast foods, buffets, fried foods, sugary drinks, diet sodas, processed foods. So we're trying to get away from those. They're not your friend. They're low energy fuel sources, if you could even call them fuel sources. I mean, anything will get you amped for a little bit, right? That's what sugar does. It's quick energy. But what you need throughout the day is long, sustaining energy. So there's no dips. And that's the goal. And speaking of goals, remember, we're trying to keep all this within the mind frame of lean, fit, strong, high energy. This is what I want. I want to be lean, I want to be fit, I want to be strong. You might say that fitness and strength are coupled together, but they could be different. Strength could actually be weightlifting or resistance training, and fitness could be like endurance training or how, like cardio. And then high levels of energy. I love energy, and that's why I like the foods I eat and the way I eat. And I eat a very different way. I'm going to go into that. But this is how I lost 23 pounds in 28 days, all, if you remember, without the ability to walk. So I had foot surgery last month, and today, it's been 7 weeks post-op. Today I get this, I have 2 screws in my feet. I get the top screw out, so I'm excited about that because that means I'm only a few weeks away from walking. So I have my crutches, I have my scooter, that's how I get around. And so I'm looking forward to walking and being mobile again. And that's gonna really take my energy level up. I have been exercising. So I've been modifying, I've been weightlifting, and I'll get into fitness here in a bit, but I've done all this without gimmicks, without diet pills, without starving myself. I don't believe in that. And what's more important too is that I don't count calories. I don't count calories at all. I'd be hard pressed to tell you how many calories I've eaten on any given day. I don't. Now that has worked wonderfully for so many people, and I'm not discounting that. So I know a lot of people who have actually, they count, they're very disciplined, and they enter on their app how many calories they've eaten and how many calories they've burned. Sometimes you can do like a little equation where you can put your height, your weight, your body mass index, and it spits out this number. Oh, you shouldn't eat more than 1,900 calories a day. 2,200 calories a day, depending on your height, weight, and how much you exercise. And then ideally, you should burn more calories than you take in. That's a standard approach to weight loss. I don't do that. I really don't do that. I focus more on macros being fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. But even there, I don't calculate anything. I just kind of eyeball it. Again, what am I eating? Whole foods. A cucumber is a cucumber. If you look at the ingredients, it says cucumber. An apple is an apple. And the fewer ingredients of something, it's basically better for you. Again, the processed foods have a zillion ingredients, and they're fillers, and they're chemicals, and they're addictive. They're highly addictive. Carbohydrates. Remember that Lay's expression, I bet you just can't eat one? That's true. Once it hits your tongue, your taste buds go nuts, your brain goes nuts, and all of a sudden you're on a spiraling, journey to self-hatred once you're done with that container. And I've been there. The way I eat, though, gets rid of those cravings, and that's important. It gets rid of sugar cravings, and that's important. So to recap, also, I said that you need to find something that works for you, that you believe will work, and that you can commit to. This is very important, guys, because beyond any short-term diet, we're looking for lifestyle changes. And, statistically, if you can hit that 90-day mark, if you can stay disciplined and focused, you hit that 90-day mark, you're more likely to make it a lifestyle change. I know many loved ones in my family. I come from a a large family. There's obesity is quite rampant on both sides of my family. And I had family members even hit the morbidly obese mark. And if you don't know what that means, it means 100 pounds over what you should weigh. And you don't want to get to that state. The body, it starts compounding in a negative way. You know, you've heard of compound interest, and we think of that, you know, in a good way. And the diet I'm on and the fitness regime I'm on, they're going to get you that compound interest in a good way. But there's also a negative compounding effect. And it's neglecting your body, it's not exercising, it's sitting all the live long day, and which is horrible for you. It's like second to smoking, right? Sitting all day. You know, being dehydrated, eating processed foods. They're not your friends. They're just not your friends. We're looking for long term. You know, sometimes we go for the immediate gratification and we put off the long term, you know, result. But that's what you're looking for, long term. The short term is not going to get you anything. It's not of substance. It fades very quickly. It may make you happy for a few fleeting moments, but that's it. So what we're looking for is sustainability. So going back to my family, I've had many family members try the Atkins diet over the years. And I'm not trying to pick on the Atkins diet. I'm not going to pick on any diet, because some diet has worked for someone. And if it works for you, great. But every single person I know personally who has tried the Atkins diet, they have failed in terms of long-term success. You know, it worked for them wonderfully for days, weeks, months, maybe, and then it stops, and then it breaks. And it wasn't sustainable for them. Why? They started craving sugar again. They started craving carbohydrates again. You know, and there could be a myriad of reasons why it didn't work. Maybe they weren't getting enough fat. That's why I personally believe. Maybe they weren't eating enough vegetables. You know, maybe they weren't planning ahead. And before I go too much further, I always want to bring back the point that mindfulness and meditation is at the core of everything you're trying to do. You know what it does? It stops automatic pilot. Automatic pilot is when you're just caught up in the day and you're unconscious. And, you know, let's say you're taking the kids to soccer practice and you didn't plan ahead, and then you notice your body starts to get hungry. And then you get really hungry, and then you get hangry, right? Hungry plus anger, hangry. And so you spot a McDonald's and you just pull over, you make that knee-jerk reaction, and you get the foods that are not going to benefit you. It's a poor choice. And I'm not going to say what's right or wrong. I like to think of the parameters of what works and what doesn't work, right? So there's not a one-size-fits-all diet out there. There's just not. So you're going to have to find something that works for you and that you can believe in and commit to. And you have to be adaptable, because if it's not working, and you have to set up metrics in order to do that. You know, how am I feeling? Is my energy getting any better? Am I losing weight? Am I getting stronger? Am I getting more fit? These are the things I want you to think about. Because if you're not, you need to change your approach. And the faster you change your approach, the better. The better you get on track to what does work. So, for me, how I lost 23 pounds in 28 days. Many people have heard of this ketogenic diet. What it is, it's high in fats. Yep, you heard me right. I eat more fat than most people I know. Probably more than anyone I know. I eat about 70 to 75% of my caloric intake of all of the calories I consume in one day. About 70 to 75% is fat. Now that's good fat, guys. I'm not talking about McDonald's fries. You'll hear me pick on McDonald's a lot, right? But it could be Burger King, it could be Subway, it could be any fast food, but let's just stick with McDonald's. I'm not going to go off on McDonald's fries. Those are fat in a bad way, right? So really good fats in my system. About 20 to 25% proteins. That's why they call it a moderate protein diet. So, you've heard Atkins, and Atkins, proteins are at the top of the list. It's meat, 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 meat. And that's unfortunate because we're a really meat-centric society, and we should be a vegetable-centric society. I love meat. I do without it, but I have good quality sources in meat. I'm going to talk about that later. So, where are we at? 70 to 75% fats, 20 to 25% proteins, and about 5%, maybe 10%, depending on how much you're exercising and what day of the week it is, carbohydrates. So it is a low-carb program. But what happens when you restrict those carbs, your body is forced to start burning ketones. Your body goes into a state called ketosis. And that's where your liver converts into it converts to fat. And then your body uses that fat as its primary fuel source. So you lose, guess what? Fat. That's right. You lose weight. You lose fat. I've lost inches. I've lost pounds, lots of pounds. My energy levels have gone up. My mind is clear because it's very low sugar. I don't have any dips throughout the day. It's sustained. Why? Because my glycemic index is not being spiked. You eat things like a grain, let's just say like sometimes rice, that'll spike your glycemic index. Bread, gluten, spike. Sugar definitely spikes your glycemic index. So again, those are quick burning fuels, and you don't want that. You want a long burning fuel, something that's really good quality. So talk about the fats. Let's go into it right now. The fats that I love are like avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil, MCT oil. That stands for medium chain triglycerides, and it's from a really concentrated coconut. It's flavorless and it's odorless, and I put it in my coffee every day. So that's another thing. A stepbrother to ketogenic is bulletproof. And I guess you say I follow bulletproof more than even keto, because bulletproof, I do have a coffee every morning with oil and butter mixed into it. Now, I'll never forget one time I was doing a screening at my work. They were checking my cholesterol levels, which are great, by the way. I have great HDL, high, low LDL. Anyways, she asked, had I had anything for breakfast? And I said, oh, just coffee. And she goes, okay, what did you put in your coffee? And she's probably thinking cream, sugar, what? And I said, oil and butter. And she looked at me as if I was from Mars. It was hilarious. And she just like gave me a double take. She's like, I'm sorry, what? And I said, yeah, I put oil and butter in my coffee this morning. And she's like, I've never heard of that. I said, most people have not. But what I do is I get coffee, I take tablespoons of either grass-fed butter, so this is butter from cows that have only eaten grass, or ghee. Ghee is like a clarified form of butter, and some people that have dairy issues will go to ghee over butter. But I'll put butter or ghee in the blender with my coffee and MCT oil, this concentrated coconut oil. Blend it up for about 20-30 seconds, and it turns into this nice frothy drink, and I love it. I have it every single morning. And what happens is, because of those fats, there's no protein in it, there's no carbs in it, it's just fats. I can go a long time without food. I don't miss it, I'm not hungry, and my brain is really focused. So that's another thing about Bulletproof. It involves intermittent fasting. So what I do, I typically fast for 18 hours. And I know what you're thinking, but almost 12 of those I'm sleeping. Not quite 12, 8 of those I'm sleeping. Then I get up, I exercise actually before I do Bulletproof. Nothing hard, I do a moderate exercise, and I stretch out my body. And then I have my coffee. And then that coffee will make, if I have my coffee at 6 in the morning, I don't have to eat until 1 o'clock easily in the afternoon. Easily. And typically, I work out before I have lunch. So it speeds your progress when you work out. on a fast. Again, I'm not hungry. I'm satiated. And then after my fast is over, I eat lunch. And my lunch typically consists of a salad with like a lean meat and some a really good dressing, a high-fat dressing. In fact, I like making these really good vinaigrettes. I make a really good basil avocado vinaigrette that is to die for. You can put it on anything. It tastes so good. You can put it on dog food and it tastes, my kids love it. So if I'm not doing that kind of lunch, I'll make a smoothie, a meal replacement smoothie. And I'll put in like protein powders, whey protein powder, collagen protein powder. It's really good for you. And they're from grass-fed sources. So the cows, have eaten nothing but grass their whole life. So why that's important is because it has a better omega-3, omega-6 ratio. So their hormones aren't thrown out of whack. Therefore, it just transfers to you. So I try to keep my sources pure. So, whey protein, collagen protein, dash of cinnamon, which is really good. Actually, I put cinnamon in my coffee too every morning. And, just a few dashes of organic cinnamon. It's good for your blood and your circulation, antioxidant too. And I'll blend that up with a handful of greens. Just throw it in there. And you can put a piece of fruit so small, you can put a half banana in there. And you know what you're going to taste? You're going to taste the banana. You won't taste the vegetable. So a lot of people are like, oh, I just can't handle spinach, or I just can't handle kale or Swiss chard or whatever. You can. It's very easy to flavor that over. All my shakes are delicious, and I love them. And that will last me, again, for hours. And it won't dip my energy. A lot of people will go out to lunch and they just, I gotta take a nap. I feel so tired. I need another coffee. I don't have that. I have sustained energy, but it's also because I'm moving. So I'm going to talk about fitness and moving because sitting is the devil. As a matter of fact, I used to have a job where I sat right next to this poster and it said, sitting for long periods of time can actually shorten your life. And I'm thinking, great, and eventually I was able to get a sit-stand workstation. And when I was able to stand, I'm down to 1 foot right now. But when I was able to stand, I would stand for 16 hours a day. I have a watch that tracks that progress. So I stand a lot. I'm moving a lot. Your body loves movement. Your joints love movement. And your body loves whole foods. Your body will love fats. Your brain is mostly fat. And so that's going to help you with your levels of cognition. Imagine your foggy mind going away, having a clear mind. That's what I'm talking about, folks. It's great. And so introducing mindfulness into your life, you're going to stop those knee-jerk reactions of grabbing the donut, grabbing the bagel. A lot of people are into whole foods. I typically stay away from it. So another thing about the Bulletproof Diet, it is paleo in nature. Paleolithic, you've heard of the caveman diet probably. So I don't eat bread, no gluten. And I don't eat grains, with the exception of once in a while I'll eat rice, but I hack it. I hack it with coconut oil, I hack it with grass-fed butter, and I do a couple other tricks to it so it gets the starchiness out. So I'm full of energy all day long. And that's what I want for you guys. I want for you to have good energy, because what will you do with the extra energy? You'll have more motivation to work out. I promise you. Instead of getting up in the morning and snoozing, you'll just get up. Get your butt out of bed, Face the day. And that's what I like about it. Again, this has worked for me. If you want to give it a try, I'm going to be talking about it more in depth in the next video. I'm also going to be talking about fitness. Later on down the line, I'm probably going to do some cooking videos too, because I love cooking. I love cooking for my family. And they always say I make gourmet meals. They're not gourmet, they're just nice. And my kids love a variety of food, and it's awesome to see them eat like curry or Thai food, Indian food, and all sorts of foods. But my cravings are gone, folks. You can set a pizza right down in front of me and Pop-Tarts or whatever it is, and I won't even in the least bit be tempted. I won't. So I'm going to say a few more words about water. Drink some water. You know, I'm drinking about 4 or 5 of these a day. I'm actually a little bit behind, so I'm going to chug this. Actually, let me give you my morning routine real quick. I get up around 5:40. I finish the water that I have in this bottle. So it's usually about 3/4. I finish it before I even go downstairs. And when I go downstairs, I do a quick workout. You know, it's like leg lifts, core workout, nothing hard. You know, I sweat like crazy when I work out. But I go to the point where I'm about to break a sweat. So about 10-15 minutes of a moderate workout. Just moving my body, and then I'll stretch, stretching my body. You ever seen a cat or a dog when they wake up? They stretch, and it's a great practice to get into because our bodies become more rigid as we get older. And this is gonna help, the fats are gonna help. So then after I do my moderate workout, I have my bulletproof coffee. Yay, I love it. And that gets me going. And then so that's gonna last me all the way till 12:31, 1:30. I can go up to 2 o'clock and not eat. I'm not even thinking about it. I'll do a workout. I'll lift weights, hop on the exercise bike. Thankfully, even with this foot, I'm able to go on my exercise bike and it doesn't hurt my foot. And then I eat lunch, either a good salad or a really good smoothie. That'll last for hours. At the end of the night, not the end of the night, around 6:30, I have dinner. And it's really good source of meat. If it's beef, it's from a grass-fed cow. If it's a fish, it's a high fatty fish like salmon, wild salmon. I love it. Those omega-3s are so good for you. And I love lamb. I love chicken, pork, and turkey, although I think they're kind of inferior proteins to beef, lamb. So I'll get into that later. I don't want to confuse you on it, but you gotta wrap your mind around this concept of higher fats. You know, avocados are amazing. Nuts are amazing. You know, they say the walnut kind of looks like the brain, and so it's good for the brain. And I believe that, I really do. So it's a hard concept for some people. Real quick, stay away from low fats. You know what low fats are? Filled with fillers. And they make them sweet. Because stay away from sugar-free things. Why? Because it's a fake sugar that's in it. I'd rather do a low sugar something than a sugar-free something. So again, get rid of the diet stuff, get rid of the aspartame, the sucralose, all the fake sugars. Come back to the natural sugars, keep them very low. That's what's gonna help you keep inflammation out of your body. I think I've said a lot for one video. I love you, I wish you well. Stay with me. I wish you a meditative success. See yourself how you wanna be. You know, how much do you weigh? What does that feel like? What's your level of vibration like? How grateful can you be right now to bring that picture of yourself right now and feel those feelings of how you would feel if you were energetic, lean, fit, and strong. Smile. Give thanks for it. Bring it into the now. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.